if the rain is coming and it's right round the corner, they have to push hard because this might be the only lap they get. They're going to have to take some risks, which is great.
And that is Verstappen's spin.
Well, mate, I tried to take it careful, but somehow it's still no good.
Here's Lewis through turn 5. Oh, I think the problem is that it's just cold. They just can't get the heat into the tyres, even on the dry parts of the circuit. Lewis now, he has to get a lap in. Well, actually, himself, Valtteri, and Max have to get a lap in now. And just hope and pray that the rain doesn't come before the end of this lap.
It's spitting in the pit lane, but not spitting enough to deny Lewis Hamilton going to the top.
1/10 there from 3rd back to 6th, and Bottas has just put it 2nd.
If it was in Q3, then Bottas would be the man on pole if he's 2nd on the timing charts, because you don't get pole unless you start right at the front of the race itself. Verstappen, meanwhile, 1:26.6 after that early spin. Problem solved for Max Verstappen. Nikita Mazepin definitely out of qualifying. He's had so many struggles throughout there. Kimi Raikkonen too. Lap times deleted are plenty for both of them. Antonio Giovinazzi still very much at risk. He's 15th fastest. Tsunoda is ahead of him, and Tsunoda goes 6th fastest, and that's a decent lap from the young Japanese driver. Sebastian Vettel, meanwhile, on a personal best lap, but is it going to be good enough to get himself out of that bottom 5? Mick Schumacher faces the same equation as Sergio Perez goes 4th fastest, and they see the checkered flag as they cross the line. Sebastian Vettel moves himself out of that bottom 5 and ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, who's now very much at risk as Mick Schumacher goes 11th fastest. The track drying out and Schumacher on it at just the right time. George Russell goes 9th fastest overall. Daniel Ricciardo, living very, very much on the limit here, is currently on the cusp. Carlos Sainz is in the bottom 5. He's going to start at the back of the grid come what may, but he can push Daniel Ricciardo into the bottom 5, and sadly for Daniel Ricciardo, he has done just that.
We are through, Mick. We're through. Okay.
Yes!
Need to out the time. Nice work, buddy.
Ricciardo's time of a 1:25.8 wasn't enough. The track improved, and the Aussie, well, is heading for an early bath. Charles Leclerc now out on the track, and Leclerc has looked pretty pacey.
Oh.
And as I say that, he now spins, not just today, but over the weekend. And that has absolutely ruined what could have been a decent lap time there for Charles Leclerc. That is the sight of Lance Stroll into turn 1, going wide, going off the track, ruining his lap. And now he's going to be looking anxiously, or his engineer is, at the timing screens, because there'll be no chance for Lance Stroll to get another lap in.
Oops, yeah, mistake.
George Russell, who was 3rd on the grid in Sochi last time out, makes his way around the final corner, and just like Charles Leclerc, oh dear, here at Istanbul Park, 14 corners, and it was one too many for the perfect lap for George Russell. He's out of qualifying. Charles Leclerc is on his way to try and get into the top 10 as Sebastian Vettel, former Ferrari driver, now puts his Aston Martin 10th overall. Esteban Ocon is out of the equation. Max Verstappen goes 2nd fastest, improves on his previous best time. Valtteri Bottas now goes 2nd fastest as he crosses the line. Charles Leclerc puts himself into the top 10, pushes Sebastian Vettel out of it, and Lance Stroll looks like he has survived despite that off. It was just the final corner that caught him out. George Russell could have been in the top 10. The two Mercedes seem to be out there on their own.
Yeah, they do, and you know, if it was Lewis's choice, sometimes you just want to be out there, you have a clean track in front of you, there's nobody to make mistakes in front of you and yellow flags or lockups and what have you, so he's just at peace with the track right now, and can feel his way around.
Hamilton a 10th up on Bottas, so the middle part of this lap, so still a couple of tenths in arrears as he makes his exit from the final corner. And here's the time they've all got to chase, a 1:23.0. You can see Valtteri Bottas in the background, 1 pole position for him so far this season. Make that a provisional pole and a chance of a 2nd now, a 1:23.0 for Valtteri Bottas. Gasly through the middle sector, a 29.5, which is a couple of tenths outside Valtteri Bottas, who's currently on provisional pole. Leclerc and Tsunoda are third and fourth. Gasly crosses the line and goes third fastest, half a second down. And can Max Verstappen make up some time on this lap?
It's interesting to see. Lewis's first sector wasn't very quick, but second and third extremely quick and both purple. So maybe he's trying different things right now and not pushing the tyre too hard in the first sector. I'm sure he'll be told on the radio of what Valtteri did. A little bit of a moment for Max there. It would have cost him a tenth, I would say, on the corner exit there. It's a short drag to the finish line, but would have lost him a little bit of time. Beautifully through there. Hits the apex on the right-hand side, and now it's this left corner, last corner, runs a tiny bit wide. Means he can get the car straight, though. Doesn't have the snap of oversteer. Where's that put him?
Still third, Max Verstappen. He's going to start behind one of the Mercedes because Valtteri Bottas is ahead of him, but also increasing his pace. But whilst Bottas does that, Hamilton's gone purple for the first sector on his latest lap. Fernando Alonso, fifth fastest for him as Valtteri Bottas takes the checkered flag and stays second, but that'll be good enough for pole position. Lewis Hamilton will have to take that engine penalty. I'll keep reminding you because it's important. Lance Stroll goes ninth fastest overall. Pierre Gasly stayed fourth fastest, had a bad final sector, could have made a further inroads up the grid. As Hamilton crosses the line, he wins out in qualifying, but with a new internal combustion engine for the Turkish Grand Prix, he'll go back 10 places for the Sunday's grid. Charles Leclerc pops his Ferrari up into fourth. That'll be a net P3 on the grid. It's Valtteri Bottas that will start on pole with Max Verstappen alongside him on the front row. Still no pole position at Istanbul Park for Lewis Hamilton, who won from 6th on the grid last year. He's going to try and do it from 11th on the grid in 2021. But welcome back to the pole spot, Valtteri Bottas, for the first time since Portugal. He's on pole and he's got a job to do tomorrow.